What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, and it is so good to be with you here today. Now, if you've never been to the channel before, if this is your first time, know this. The Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. That's right, we talk about all kinds of fun, cool stuff here on the channel, like TV shows, movies, games, and toys. And today we are talking toys. Now, I have had these for a while. These are the Shazam action figures. Now, I was gonna wait until the Shazam DVD came out, the Blu-ray and everything, but I had to get to these because I gotta get these out of the package and I gotta get these up on my shelf. So these are all of the basic figures, and we're gonna do the biggest toy review that we've done so far. A massive, 6-figure review all in one. So hey, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, and that sounds like something you like, then hey, why don't you consider hitting that subscribe button and also hit that notifications bell so that you know when we put out videos, because we do crazy stuff like this all the time, and we want to communicate with you, we want to talk to you. So hey, all of our social media links are down in the description below. Let's talk toys, and let's review these now. So here we are, all 6 figures. This packaging looks great. I'll tell you what, I was kind of on the fence at first of whether or not I should get these, just because I'm really into the DC Multiverse stuff, and these are a totally different scale. These are like 5.5 inches. But I'll tell you what, when you look at these, the packaging was great for these. The colors are awesome for these. It was a bit of a spoiler for the movie that every character was going to show up, but nonetheless, I think it's really cool. As you see here, they've got all these colors, all these bright colors. You know, this is what a superhero movie and line should be. My only complaint, I guess, is that, again, with a DC property, it's all superheroes. We're going to show you the packaging all close up. Here is Freddy, and he comes with Pride. They all come with these little rubber flingy versions of the 7 deadly sins, which I think is strange too, because there's 6 figures and there are 7 deadly sins. So I'm wondering if at some point down the line there's going to be maybe a Dr. Savannah, or you know, it'd be cool to get a Billy Batson action figure. Either way, we just need that 7th deadly sin. Here's Pedro in all of his buffness and his buff green outfit there. And you can see here the detail. It's got the symbols for the 7 deadly sins at the bottom there, the packaging. And of course, here is Pedro on the back. It shows you the little deadly sin and how you can fling them, and then it's got all the characters on there. Here, of course, is Mr. Shazam himself, Captain Marvel. He comes with Wrath. Comes with the red one. And he looks really good, and you can see here him on the back. All great artwork, lots of color, lots of, just pop, right? Like I said, it'd be interesting. Here's Mary. Mary looks great. Of course, she comes with Sloth. It's a white figure. And all those little flingy figures, they all look different. I love Mary's pose here on the back of her flying, and you can put her in that pose, which is really cool. But we need a 7th figure. I don't know. So here is Eugene. And he's pretty big and buff himself. And he comes with Gluttony. Looks good. I'm surprised that Pedro didn't come with Gluttony, but you know, they kind of pulled a switcheroo on that. You see here on the back, it's got all the other figures. And then finally, the star of the movie, Darla. And she just looks great in her purple outfit. And of course, she comes with Greed. And they all look good. Now, the number one thing I've been asked about all my reviews is to open up the packages on screen. So we're going to go ahead and rip these out and let you see me rip them out, because you guys seem to really like that. And I understand that. It's like one of those, those things where like you need to feel, some completeness, right? You need to feel. I'll show you this. This flings out here. There it goes, all the way to the back. So they got some fling to them. You want to be careful, probably, that you don't rip the rubber. And I'm sure over time that'll get a little brittle. But, you know, it's not like one of those wacky wall crawlers or something like that where everything just sticks to it. I've been pleasantly surprised that everything hasn't just stuck to them. And they just do really well. So take these all out here. You can see all of these come out really nicely, really quickly. Nothing is just like, you know, tied down in this. So that's good. So they come out really quick. There's Mary. The cape's in there pretty good. Makes me wonder how they get those in there sometimes, you know? Like, how do you stuff that in there? I'd like to see a video on that. I have to look up on YouTube and see if I can find a video. See, I said there were no ties, but of course there's a tie, so you want to be careful. But he goes a little differently. You know, but I'd like to see videos of how they get these figures in some of these bubbles where their cape has to go through, and then, you know, all the little pieces go through and stuff. Here's Shazam, Captain Marvel himself, Billy Batson. He came out really nice. So they do have, some of them do have these little strings on those, you know, the little tie-down strings, but they seem to give pretty easily. So there's Wrath. There's Pedro. Come out of the package here. What's nice is they're on these bubble cards and they just come off really fast. So, which is always good because you don't want to be spending a lot of time just trying to get your toy out of the package. I remember when I was a kid, man, I just wanted to get to the toy, you know. And still yet, I still, when I'm opening the package, I just want to get to the toy. Sometimes they just take forever, it seems, to and just tie these things down just horribly because they want to prevent theft, and I get it. But man, some are just like so entwined in there, and you know, twist ties and everything else. So it's always nice to sometimes see a figure that just pops right out. I really love the blue on him. Looks really good. This winged one. And there you have it. That's all of them. That's all of the packaging. So now we can move on. Here are the figures themselves, standing here with all of their deadly sins. Look at these colors. Just, man, what a great figure line. For being the basic line, these are amazing figures, and you'll see that as we go throughout the whole review. I don't think that I've seen a basic line be as detailed as these. I mean, these face sculpts and everything are as good or better than some of the multiverse figures that I've seen. And these 7 Deadly Sins are a nice accessory. And these bodies and everything, the sculpts on them are just great. And I'll be honest with you, even though that they're in the 5.5-inch scale instead of the 6-inch scale, some of these sculpts are better than the multiverse. Here's Pedro. Look at this face. I mean, look at the beard and just the attention to detail that they did. And the hair. The hair is just so well crafted. You got the bright, like I said, insignia and everything. His head will go around, but because his cape's a little higher than the rest of them, it doesn't. So he does have a little bit of up and down there. His arms go all the way out, and of course, all the way around. There is no bicep swivel, but there is a swivel at the elbow, and of course, he does bend too. And then his wrist goes around. So look at all this articulation. For this basic figure, I mean, even his wrists go back and forth, and that's the same on all of them. And of course, it does the exact same thing on the right side. So, I mean, you're getting a lot for this figure. He doesn't have an ab crunch, but he does spin around at the waist. His legs don't go out like in the splits, but he's got a single bend to his knee, and there are his boots. His boots go all the way around. He does not, they don't go up and down, but as you can see there, a lot of articulation and detail in this figure. And I'm amazed. I'm really amazed because you don't really get that a lot in the basic figure lines. You know, you didn't see this in the Batman versus Superman line like that. Now here is Freddy. Freddy's head will go around as well. But again, you can see here as Pedro falls down here in the background. Get him back up there. But his head will go around. It's just that some of the capes are a little high, but his arm does the exact same thing, goes all the way out, goes all the way around. He's got the same swivel right there. His hand will swivel and go back and forth just like that. And then, of course, he goes around at the waist. And
knee bends there, and his boot goes around. But these colors, all of this, like the sculpting, the webbing on the outfits are great to show the spandex. Also, the collars are super cool, and where they're not as detailed as the multiverse, if you look really closely, you can still see the tiger emblem. But just look at this detail on the belt, on the gauntlets. The sculpting on the capes are great. You know, they don't have the gold etching like the multiverse version of Shazam, but still just phenomenal. And prop that up here in a second. Now, let's go to Shazam. Of course, this is the only figure that, you know, we have to compare to the other one, but the face sculpt on this one, actually, I like the face sculpt on this better than I like it on the multiverse one. I like the expression better. His head goes all the way around, it goes up and down a little bit. His arm does the exact same thing. They all have the same articulation, as you can see here, and his wrist goes around and then back and forth as well. Legs do the exact same thing. His waist goes around, has one bend to the knee, and of course the calf goes around. But you can see here, just look at the detail. I don't know if you can really see this, but you can see the etching here in the cape. The cape actually looks great. It's attached back here pretty nicely to the middle of his back. And even though it doesn't have the gold etching, you can see here, like I said, you can see the tiger emblems. They're not as pronounced as they are in the multiverse one, but look, even in his neck and chest, just the sculpting that has gone into that, you can tell that a lot of time and effort was put into this basic figure line. I mean, and these were at a $9.99 price point, and a lot of them got discounted after that. Let's take a look at the last guy. Here's Eugene. Look at this guy's hair. Look at this phenomenal hair. What a sculpt. What a great sculpt there. I mean, for a basic figure, are you kidding me? And I mean, like I said, all the same articulation and everything, but this great color, you know, his arm goes around. Here you can see, still yet at the elbow, at the hand, at the wrist, you know. They all have open hands. They don't come with any accessories like weapons or anything like that, but you could put something in there. You know, I would have liked to have seen at some point a scepter of some kind, because the scepter was such an important part of the movie that it would have been good to see a scepter included in either the multiverse figures, which of course I think that there should have been more multiverse figures. In the Aquaman line, I think we got 9 figures in the Aquaman line, and we only got 2 so far in the Shazam one, and I think that's just too bad. That's just too bad, because it would have been great to have the whole Shazam family in the multiverse line in the 6-inch scale. Now, I do like these better because Shazam in the, there goes Darla, Shazam in the 6-inch scale, his torso seems really, really tall and long. And even my son Landon pointed that out. But look here again on Darla. Look at this facial sculpt. The eyes and the makeup and the lips. That's a beautiful figure right there. That's a good looking figure. I mean, the hair, everything. That's a phenomenal looking. I mean, it's almost like a Halle Berry looking, but it looks just like the actress who portrays Darla in the movie, the adult version. And so her arms do the same things here, even hers, even though they're thinner, they still go around there. They have the gauntlets. Her wrist goes around like that. Like I said, it'd been cool to have a staff, because the staff is what turns them all into that. You know, it'd be cool if we got the wizard as maybe the 7th figure here. And, you know, I'd like to see maybe a 2-pack of the Wizard and Dr. Savannah. That would be really cool. Now, her cape attaches a little differently than the rest, kind of like in the middle of her back, but that's still okay. She goes around at the waist. You can see here, she's got the bend, and even though she's got the little tiny boots, she still goes around at the ankles. So again, great looking figure. Actually, Darla's probably one of my favorites, because just the makeup and everything on this figure looks beautiful. That's a beautiful figure. That's a great interpretation of a beautiful, beautiful lady. So I notice I have a little bit of a harder time getting her to stand up, though. Her legs are a little different, and so I have gotten a little bit of an issue making her stand up. So you got to kind of get her just right, and then, you know, plan her there. So you can see here that I'm having a little bit of a hard time. But if you have patience, my friend, it'll work. All right, so now we move on to Mary. Mary, of course, you know, is the oldest here. She looks great. What a great head sculpt. Tiffany has a Mary figure from the DC, can't remember what line it is, but a couple of lines ago. And but this figure, I'll tell you what, it rivals that figure. Even though it's shorter, it's still rival. Look at this hair. This is amazing hair. And she still has all the great cuts, all of the great sculpting here. I am so impressed. I can't, I don't know. I feel like I can't even express to you how impressed I am with this basic line. It's such a great line. Now, of course, she's the only one who comes with a skirt. I'm not trying to be, you know, weird about this, but do have to show you for the purpose of this review. So she does not come with a swivel at all. There, of course, is her cape. It also attaches in the back of her, in the middle of her back like that. Her knees bend. And, of course, she goes around. Her boots are higher than everybody else's, and so they just go around at the knee. Everybody else's knee doesn't go around, but hers does. So it's a little different. I'm glad, you know, at least she's got some red underwear on, so she, you know, she's being modest, right? So when she takes off, you know, it's kind of strange to see a woman flying in a skirt, but she's covered. So there you go. That is all 6 figures close up. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the 7 deadly sins, because of course you got the 7 deadly sins, and they each come with a different sin, and I will show you close up what these look like. Okay, so this is Envy. You can see here he's kind of like a neon yellow, kind of lime green color, so he matches Pedro pretty well. And you can see his stretchy part is his arms, and they connect there so that you can stretch him out and fling him. You can't really tell that well, maybe a little bit here in the video, but they've got some pretty good sculpting to him. This, of course, is Pride. Pride's pretty cool because he's got these wings. He's kind of got the gargoyle look going on, the classic gargoyle look. So you want to be careful with those wings, though, that you don't rip them off. You want to be careful with all of these, that you don't, you know, stretch them too far and then snap them, because once you snap them, you'd have to fling them in a different way, and they, you know, they won't stay the same. Here is Wrath. He's got some spikes on his back. He is red, so you can tell that some thought definitely went into these. He also connects at the hands so that you can fling him that way. Nice looking little rubbery figure there. Here is Sloth. Now, Sloth is different in the fact that his hands connect at the side. His arms go down like that at the side. He's kind of hunchbacked. And so he's got a different look than the other one. So you got to kind of fling him from the side instead of from the front. But again, you can see like a lot of thought really went into these figures. All these little details in the ribs and the muscle tone and things like that. Here is Greed in the bright orange, and I dig the extra set of arms on Greed. I think that's pretty cool in the squatting position, and I showed you earlier he flings pretty well, and he looks pretty cool. And finally, rounding out the 6 of the 7 is Gluttony. You can see here he's got a bigger stomach. He's got some weird appendage to his face there, and his arms are together as well. Lots of nice little detail, especially for this type of thing. I mean, a lot of detail for this. Just, I think if there's one thing that could be said all across the board for these, a lot of detail has gone into these figures. So there you go, folks. That is the Shazam family in the basic figure line. Give you one last little close-up look at everybody. They're brightly colored outfits. They all look really good, and I would suggest if these are still in the stores around you, you go pick them up. You can also find them on Amazon for $10 a piece, $9.99. You can't beat that. I mean, it's a good deal. You can get free shipping if you order most of them or all of them, and they look really great on a shelf. I'll tell you what, I've got these on my shelf now, and they just look really good. You can see here how they display. You can pose them in all kinds of cool, fun ways. And these are going to be figures that you're going to be proud of. Basic figures that you can be proud of, that are not more expensive, but they still look great. and they look like the actors who play them, and that's phenomenal. I mean, they've just done a really great job with this, and I hope that this is a taste of things to come from the future of DC movies when we get basic figures, because these are the best basic figures for any of the DC movies so far.
So hey, that's my review of the basic Shazam action figures. What did you think of these? Do you have these? Did you go out and buy these things? What do you think of them? Let me know down in the comment section or on social media. I would love to talk to you. Also, hey, share your toy experiences with me. I would love to talk to you about your toys, how you display them, what kind of stuff do you collect? Somebody even wrote to me recently and said that I have inspired them by seeing my toy room and seeing my collection, that I inspired them to start collecting toys. And speaking of that, here on the Poindexter Lounge, we also like to give things away. So this next month, we are giving away this set. That's right, the Aquaman and Orm DC Multiverse Battle Action Set, whatever it's called. So take a look at that. If you are interested in that, please leave a comment down in the comment section saying that you're interested in it, that you'd like to be in the drawing for it next month. And also, you have to be a subscriber and you have to hit that notifications bell. So please give us a like. Let us know that you dig what we're doing here on the channel, and we'll keep doing it, all right? And give us ideas for new stuff that you'd like to see. We would love for you to be a part of this community, because that's what we really are here. We're a community of nerds. Right, Landon?
Right.
That's my son off screen. So hey, join us today on this nerd quest and let me know what you guys think about these Shazam action figures. Until next time, my name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett, saying I'll see you in the toy aisle. All right, bye-bye.
Hey guys, if you made it this far in the video, you are awesome. Thank you guys so much for your support. Please smash that like button and of course subscribe, and also hit that notifications bell so that you are aware when we put out new videos, which is like all the time. Thanks for being a part of the Poindexter Lounge, and we'll see you next time.